Okay, I'm going to introduce our next speaker. Next we have Andrew Ferris. He is an electrical engineer by training. He graduated here in Perth at UWA. Andrew's worked at the Office of Energy, Public Utilities for 10 years, developing and implementing energy efficiency policies for buildings, equipment, and the residential sector. Previous to this work, Andrew worked in private industry developing energy management solutions within the business and industrial sectors, including 8 years throughout Asia developing partnerships and business development. Andrew is passionate about ensuring government facilitates efficient use of energy that benefits all of the community. Andrew strongly believes that carbon pricing is only a starting point, and that solutions in energy efficiency revolve around addressing market failures and associated barriers. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you very much. I like Kiara, I like to talk, so it'll be a challenge to keep me for 10 minutes too, so try your hardest. I've got a lot to get through, but I'll get through it as best I can. Who we are, I work for you, and I like nothing better than getting out and speaking to lots of people I do and don't know about what I'm passionate about, and because you're here, I assume you're passionate about it as well. And so my real objective tonight is to get you to understand there's somebody working perhaps with some similar goals and objectives from within government to try and progress what you would like to progress. So who are we? We were previously the Office of Energy. We do energy policy for the state. We recently became the Public Utilities Office, which is a bit of a mouthful to get myself. I still consider myself Office of Energy in some ways. We're part of the Department of Finance, and one of the reasons why this current government dissolved the Office of Energy and made us the Public Utilities Office is because of the importance of utilities and the affordability issue that energy is having. Wanted to bring it closer together into, I suppose, that central policy formation within government. So that's what we're intending to do with it. Now, did that stick forward automatically? Maybe we go. Okay. So as you would know, residential tariff is increasing. The state forecast says it's going to increase more. You know, we've heard about the carbon tax is going to add on 9-point-something%. The idea is this: WA government, we have this policy of cost reflectivity. What that means is we're all paying for the energy in the state. What's not happening is the people that are using the energy aren't paying the full cost of it. What we're doing is reimbursing that's advancing automatically. We're reimbursing the utilities with the difference. So while we think, if you like, the cost of energy is going up, it's actually not. We're already paying for it in another avenue. We're giving hundreds of millions of dollars to the utilities to make up the shortfall between the difference. So what's happening is it's becoming more equitable, and it's becoming more user pays for the energy. So that's really what's happening. So don't think that the cost of energy is skyrocketing. You've been paying for it for the past 12, 15 years anyway. What's happening is the people that are using the energy are now paying for it more equitably. So we have, why energy efficiency? I work principally in energy efficiency. We won't get into sort of carbon tax stuff. Our government has a position on that, which is, we know. With energy efficiency though, there's a lot of barriers and there's a lot of market failures. The carbon price works on the fact that we're all really logical as far as our purchasing decisions. Unfortunately, we're human and we're not. And there's lots of, therefore, market failures. And what that means is some of us, in fact most of us, don't have all the information when we make a decision. When you buy a fridge or a freezer or a TV these days, what we're trying to do in government is to help you overcome this information asymmetry where you don't understand the linkage of energy use and cost with your purchase. You know, you get blinded by the technology and the features. You may not understand the running costs, that a plasma is going to cost you a lot more than a LED, LCD, for example. That's what we're trying to do. There's also split incentives, which we would understand perhaps in tenants, landlords, where you have in commercial buildings, for example, somebody builds a big skyscraper, but they don't pay the energy bills. And so there's a split incentive. And there's also behavioural failures where people just don't act rationally. We don't act, we know potentially there's things that you could put in a house to be energy efficient, but we'd rather have the, the slate entry and the marble top carbon on the kitchen bench. We're illogical sometimes in those decisions. The other thing is energy efficiency is recognised by virtually every economist as being the lowest cost carbon abatement. So it's actually encouraged by the price in carbon. I'm not actually the legislator. I'm not the person that works for the Building Commission that says you must build 6-star homes, but we work the energy policy with the Buildings Commission. But why do we legislate? Why do we have to be so heavy-handed as government? Basically because the market's failed. It's possible to build 8, 9-star homes in today's market cost effectively with the materials that are available, without sort of blinding sort of new technology and silver bullets, etc. And what we really need to do is fix that market with some incentive by saying you can't build below 6-star. That's why, unfortunately, we have to do it. Now, for a number of years, we've had 4-star, 5-star. We're not about best. People say, why don't you mandate 9-star? Well, you could do that, potentially. But the idea is to legislate out the poor behaviour, to leave room for the market to act more rationally and more efficiently as a market. There's still room to have 8-star, 9-star homes if you wish, and people are doing it, but we won't legislate that bit. We won't completely take choice away. Just so you know, we can only ever legislate when we as government, as part of the COAG, all of the governments together in Australia, the federal and state and territory, when we can prove it's in our community's best interest to have a piece of legislation. So people understand we're not being sort of green and saying we're doing this because of ideology. We're actually doing this because we've done some studies that say the community will benefit if we make you and you build 6-star homes. So there is a test in place. There is a rational economic reason for doing it. And that's why I can stand here and say we as our current state government are fully behind 6-star. It's not particularly because, no, it's definitely not because of carbon. It's not because of lots of other green reasons. It's because of economic and affordability reasons for the community and for you as people that are purchasing a home and living in a home. We're doing it in your interest economically. So that's, I suppose, a key thing, regardless of any of my personal sort of bent. The government is doing this for dollar reasons and the economy. Overcomes these barriers, and importantly, housing affordability. Last year, this government released a paper on housing affordability, which is a very hot topic. And one of the key things was it noted that affordability was not just the price of the house, it's the cost to live in it. That's part of the affordability equation. And that was the first time that had been done by the state government. And it really does show the emphasis that we're saying, no, 6-star is going to have benefits for decades to come, but it's really as important that we do it because of affordability. Okay, so the 6-star measures, just in case, the thermal energy, water and heating are now included, the lighting as well. What that means is it's a real watershed. When you build a new home, you have to look at the orientation. You have to look at the materials. Has it got enough insulation? Where are the windows? Account of you are in Swanbourne versus Bickley. It is a design for climate approach, which is the first time the builders have had to look at these issues. And it's very important that people recognise that while 6-star is not 9-star or 10-star, it's a huge watershed for the building industry. They haven't had to worry where north is. Which way is north? Oh, it's not on the plan. You go to the sales office for the building company. You just buy X house. It's very important that people understand that we will be consolidating a huge change in the building industry over the next 3 to 5 years. What's in the future with the buildings framework? We've got probably one of the big things is this load issue. Heating and cooling. The peak load in summer is of real economic, to the detriment of everybody. We all pay. Currently, we're working out maybe $4,500 for each kilowatt of air conditioner that we add to a house is what the system infrastructure that we all have to pay. So that gives you an idea. We're really conscious we need an education program for people for living in their sustainable home more sustainably. It's great having a 6-star home, but you have to live 6-star to take advantage of it. And then existing homes and mandatory disclosure, which is a big issue. How do you handle the existing building stock? Okay, so just summing up, the housing regulations and the 6-star regulations that we've recently introduced in the 1st of May is only one part of a very big raft of energy efficiency and policies that we're implementing for you. It covers things like televisions and your white goods, it covers lighting, it covers transport, it covers our own government energy use. Even things like planning guidelines. It's great having 6-star homes. We want to have the planning regulations and the planning policies to match it so we get the right lots to build the right homes and everything all dovetails together. And I suppose our own government operations as well. So really, we reflect in a lot of ways what the community put on us as far as priority. We're hearing that affordability and energy is a big issue. We're hearing that education to go along with our regulation are big issues. I'm sort of interested in hearing during the discussion period of other things that, as far as our section of government, like the part that I work in, what more we could be doing in areas that perhaps you have got ideas for where we can be doing things further for you. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Andrew. I think if anyone wants to give some feedback to Andrew about what we should be doing or have a discussion about that, aside from out there in the drinky Liberals area, we can also do that on our Facebook page if anyone thinks that's a good idea.